everyone, welcome back. So today I wanted to do a bit of a video on Inktober and also while I do that a bit of an update on what's happening in my world at the moment, which will probably help to sort of understand why my videos probably aren't as regular as I want them to be. So I'll start off with talking about Inktober. So for those of you that don't know what Inktober is, it was something started by a guy called Jake Parker. I believe it's in the US. And so basically back in 2009, he started the Inktober challenge, and basically it's 31 drawings in 31 days for the month of October. So every day of the month you do a drawing, and there is a list of prompts for Inktober, so that helps you out. Now, I actually have never participated in Inktober until this year. Having said that, I was on track until some things happened personally, which I will get onto in a moment. But the whole idea is to get you back drawing, get your motivation back, and obviously to do it in ink. I don't believe there's any rules as to, not being able to draw in pencil first, because I certainly do. I'm not quite as confident as I would like to be with going straight in on ink on every drawing that I do. But I wanted to set myself the challenge of doing this. And so everything was going along swimmingly, and I was drawing every day, or at least was sketching out my drawings. And I figured that for the first year, even if I did the basic steps to it, I may not get every drawing done, but if I got it sketched out, if I had my ideas, then I could sort of go along with what Inktober sort of is. But if it goes past October and I haven't done all my drawings, then I can go back for the rest of the year and just sort of get into sort of the feel of Inktober, what it's all about, getting used to drawing every day. And I guess the main thing also was to, if I didn't get to a drawing on a particular day, it was to not give up and, to make sure that the next day that I got back in and drew, even if it was not until midnight the night before, because I'm a real night owl. So I thought, well, I'm going to do it, and I'll do it my way. I'll try and stick to the drawing a day, but if I go off track, it doesn't matter. And then I'll be ready for Inktober in 2024, and I'll have more time to sort of prepare, because I really didn't know much about Inktober until it was sort of upon us. So I think I did pretty well. So also along those lines, in the beginning, probably a few days into Inktober, or it might have been a couple of days before, I also found out about Inktober Tangles, which is what you can see in front of me right here. So then I decided, well, why not just do 2 drawings a day? And again, was going along swimmingly. And then, things happened. So I wouldn't say I'm totally off the rails with doing it, and it's November 1st today, so Inktober is officially finished. However, as I said, my aim is to make sure I've got all my tangles done and my drawing a day for Inktober by the end of the year, so that I've got the practice in, I know how it flows and everything, and then come October 2024, I will be right to go. So I'll just go through some of the prompts for Inktober for you just really quickly, so that you get an idea, in case you are not somebody that's done this before. And I highly recommend doing it because, sorry, the camera's moving a little bit there. I do recommend doing it because it really has got me drawing again, and I haven't drawn properly, on a consistent basis for years. So just to give you an idea, and I'll flip quickly through my book and you'll see that some of the drawings are complete, some are still well and truly in the making. So just to give you an idea, the very first day one was Dream. So I'm just doing it in an A5 sketchbook. Now, I purchased this sketchbook for $4 from Kmart, which if you're in a country that doesn't have a Kmart, it's like a Target, or it's just a I can't even think of what you call them now. It's just a general like Target, Big W. I'm not quite sure what you'll have in your country, but it's one of our cheaper retail stores. It's not a cheapy store, but it's you know, it's like a department store. So I'm just using this, and you can see my beginning page. It's just got wording. It's got nothing else on it at the moment. So my plan is to do some ink splatters and things like that and decorate this page up a bit. And then what I'm going to do on this page is I'm actually going to write all the prompts, but I thought I might sort of do them sort of, you know, all over the page and winding into each other. So that's really basic, but the first prompt was Dream. And as you can see, I have sketched mine out, but I haven't done the ink portion of it yet. I'm also trying to do a lot of these drawings with my fountain pen. Different fountain pens that I have. So this isn't finished yet, obviously, but it's going to be my interpretation of Dream. Then day 2 is Spiders, and I don't know how well you can see that. It should come up, but there's the beginning of my spider there, and then it goes on to Path, Dodge. So I've done a early model Dodge car there, which I love. So it's very Addams Family type thing. The next one is a map. So I've started to do a bit of a fantasy map there, and so forth. So this one's golden, and mine's going to be that the crown is a golden crown. So I will use gold pen for my crown, and the rest will probably be in black. I'm going to experiment with some colours in some of my drawings, but the basis of it is going to be black, mainly because I'm experimenting with my fountain pens, but also I like black and white art, and for this year I really wanted to concentrate on being, you know, getting the basics down, and then I can always play around with it in the future. So some of these drawings will have some colour added to them, and in a future video I'll hopefully do a video in, you know, over time of all of this completed. It may very well not be until September next year of 2024, leading into October for next year. I may just do a short video then on the work from this year, but my aim is to have all this done by Christmas. So, and then we've got, I think it's drip, so I'm doing a candle that's dripping. Toad, which I did have something sketched out, I didn't like it, so I got rid of it. And I guess that's what they say, you need to get your confidence, just go straight in with ink, don't worry about mistakes. But I'm very, very OCD, so I have an issue with that, and it's something I'm working on again so that I can get better for next year. You can't really see, but the next one's Bounce, and I'm doing an eyeball that's sort of come out and is bouncing. Then it goes on from there and has lots of, obviously 31 prompts, and that's sort of where I got to. I was a bit disappointed, but you know, the changes that are happening are really fantastic changes, and they can't sort of be delayed. So I thought, well, it doesn't matter, I've made a start, I know where I'm going, I have a plan, and that'll all work out just fine. So I guess what I should do is tell you what is happening. So my husband and I have actually just purchased our first home together, and today everything went through. All the final little things went through this morning, the last things that we were waiting to check off. And we will be moving at the end of this month. So it's all happening extremely quickly, but it's all really fantastic. We are having a sea change. So we're moving to the beach, to a little town just before an island. So lots of beach around us. And yeah, we're really excited. We'll be doing, the house is partly renovated, but there are some small reno jobs to do, which we will be undertaking ourselves. So my plan is to take you all along that journey of the move and the improvements and things like that as they happen. So I'll be doing some videos on that, and also videos on my new office and art space and my craft space, and setting it up exactly how I want it, so it's going to work really well for me. So it's all really, really exciting. I can't wait for the dogs to get up there as well and run around. It is somewhere where we normally take them swimming in summer, so it's not too far. It's about 30 minutes from where we are right now, and yeah, so it's going to be really, really exciting, and yeah, lots of great things ahead. So that kind of threw a spanner in the works of my whole Inktober. It happened, as I said, like really quickly, and which is fantastic. We've had no problems. It's been smooth sailing. And yeah, so at the moment I've been lots of phone calls and emails and things like that every day, making sure everything's done. And I still have the rest of this week where I'll be pretty busy, you know, changing over utilities and organising movers and things like that. So it's going to be an extremely busy next month, and probably leading into Christmas. So we'll be moved by the end of November, and I imagine we should be pretty well settled by Christmas. So I'll be doing a lot of decluttering, organising, and lots of things like that. So I'm really looking forward to doing all of that. So as I said, I'll be doing some videos with that. There may be days where there's no videos. It just really depends, because it's such a busy time. And in the midst of all that, obviously we have Christmas coming up, but in the midst of all that, next week is my wedding anniversary, and 4 days later, my husband's birthday. So it is so busy at the moment. And yeah, I'm just trying to get everything done, and everything's going so well at the moment. So I just sort of want to keep that momentum going. And I figured, well, you know, everything with my videos and that, my drawing and everything can wait a few weeks, and till I sort of, or you know, a month or so till I get sort of everything back on track. So that kind of explains what's happening in my world. So now let's talk about these tangles that you see in front of me. So there is a lady called Stephanie Jennifer, and she is a certified Zentangle teacher. I didn't even know there was such thing as tangles. But anyway, and there is a website called zentangle.com, and they are the original creators, I guess, of tangles. And Stephanie Jennifer, what she does is every year she puts out a list of prompts for tangles. And there are lots of YouTube videos on them, lots of things on the internet. So if that's something that you're interested in as well, just pop on and, you know, Google it, search in YouTube, there is just stacks out there. So as I said, I've never done them before, so I printed out, she actually puts out this whole, I'll show you, this whole guide to the Inktober Tangles, and it's fantastic. It gives you lots of information about what tangles are. It has all the prompts in there. It has examples, because people create the actual tangle, which is what all these things are, and then you replicate it and or put your own spin on it. So I'll show you as I go through. And back to the standard Inktober, there is so much on the internet. If you jump on there, and even YouTube videos, there is some amazing artwork happening using those prompts. It's absolutely fantastic, and so many people seem to have a different take on, like the bounce one is a good one that a lot of people have a different take on, and same with like dodge and drip. So I just found it really awesome to have a look at everybody's work. Anyway, back to this. So they have their prompts as well. And to give you an idea, so I've done a few variations to these as well. So they generally do them on these little cards. Now, my cards are 2.5 by 2.5 inches. I've seen on there that they use 2 by 2 inch cards, and then one of the other teachers was saying that they use 3 by 3. I don't think it matters, to be honest. I just cut up cardstock to 2.5 by 2.5 inches because I wanted a bit more space on my card for each one. So this was day one, and this is called Be Light. Now, if I show you what the original creator of this one, if you can see that very first one there, so that's her Be Light. Now, I did my own take on this one, and I created that tangle there. However, I got to, how many is there? 6, 12, 15. I got to day 15, and I was thinking, okay, what am I going to do with all these little cards after I've done the challenge? Because I don't have a lot of space, and they'll just get lost. So I wondered what to do, and I thought, well, I don't really want to throw these out, and I'm going to continue the whole 31 days doing them on a card for this year. But then I thought, well, why don't I do them in one of my art books, so that the art book gets put neatly on a shelf and it's all in there, and I can sort of, you know, it's a record of my art. So for next year, I will probably do it straight into a sketchbook. And in the meantime, what I've done is I've started to move them over into a sketchbook already. So I got one of my bigger sketchbooks, and I started to create a page in there for 2023 tangles. This is actually one of the tangles, or an element from one of the tangles. And then I've roughly sketched out a grid so that I know how many I can fit on a page. So I haven't quite decided whether I'm going to, you know, do 8 down the page, or whether I'm going to scatter them somehow. But I have started to do one of the tangles again there. So I just thought, for the long term and for space saving, that it would probably be better to do it straight into an art journal. So that's my plan. And you can see what I did, and because I'm very OCD, if I make a mistake and it's a mistake I can't live with, I'm shocking, and I will just tear the page out, which is not good, especially if you have done multiple other tangles on a page already. So I started sketching out some of my tangles into my book, and I made a mistake. So I got rid of it. But you can see here, this tangle, the Bee Light, I have actually done the same or a very similar version to what the artist created, if you can see that there. So I have mimicked hers there, but then on my little card, I'm trying to remember what they call these, bijou tiles, I think. On here, I've got my variation of it. Now, I could have, and I did start to get these and just glue them into my art journal. I don't know why I'm not doing that, but I'm not. So I may get annoyed with myself trying to redraw them into my art book and just glue these in. I don't know. I'm a bit all over the shop at the moment because of everything happening. So anyway, these are all the tangles in front of you, in front of me, up to day 15. So you can see they give their variation, or sorry, their original design of the tangle, and then you go ahead and either emulate it or put your own spin on it. And as you can see here, there's lots of different ones. There's right up to obviously day 31. Some are quite challenging. They don't look like it when you look at them, but when you go to do them, trust me, they are quite a challenge. And I love them. I think that they're, you know, some amazing, I'll zoom in a little bit, but they're really quite amazing, some of them, and very pretty sort of designs. So I especially like this one here and this flower, these ones here, very pretty. So and then what some have done is they have set themselves a challenge, and I think I'll do this next year, where they have then gotten their art journal of about this size, or 8 by 10, and they actually make a whole picture that is all the tangles sort of mixing in together and overlapping each other. I love it. I think it's fantastic, and it's an extra challenge to make it all sort of, you know, meld into the one piece of art. So next year, I think I'll set myself the challenge of doing that. And in the meantime, between now and Inktober next year, as I said, my plan is to finish off my daily drawings from the Inktober prompts before Christmas. Make sure that I've finished off the 31 days of tangles. And then going forward from January to Inktober next year, I think what I may very well do is try and get all of these and blend them into one piece of art, like I've just been talking about. Maybe on the page in my journal in this book, at the end of the 31 tangles, I'll probably do a whole page where they're all sort of intertwined, and work on that, you know, throughout the year. I mean, I may get it all done in a day or a weekend. It may take me months depending on what's going on in my life. So I thought that would be sort of a good way to sort of update you with everything that I'm doing at the moment. Now, I have been doing some other drawings and doodlings and things like that, you know, in between things or when I can't sleep. So, you know, just really basic little doodles. And then some of my other drawings have been a little bit more complex. I wouldn't say they're extremely difficult, but I will sit down and take a bit more time. But I have been doing quite a bit of doodling, like this picture in front, and using some colour. And I find in between everything else that's going on. And like I said, if I can't sleep, I'll often sit up and I will just draw, or you know, I might be watching something on TV and I'll be doing stuff in between that. And then other times I will just wake up in the morning and all I want to do is draw. So I'll draw all day and into the night. And yeah, so I just grab any art journal that I've got and just do stuff. So I've been, you can't probably see all that well, but I've been sketching out some different flowers and just having a play. And then my intention is once I've sort of got some more practice with different flower shapes, I'm going to be working with some more watercolors and things like that as well. This is the beginning of a bigger sort of piece that I've been playing around with, and you've probably seen it. You may very well have seen it on a YouTube video on one of the girls that did it, but essentially this was a bit of a practice run where I was sort of looking at what I wanted to do. So you can sort of see it will eventually have all the petals like this. Yeah, so all the petals, as I said, will eventually look like this. Sorry, just had to pause my video to take a phone call. But yeah, so that's what I'm working on with that. And then, you know, I've just been, as I said, just playing around with some sketches, trying to, you know, just look at some different lines and things like that of things. And yeah, so what I've been using for the Inktober Tangles, I've been drawing with the Sakura pigment markers, and I just have this 6-piece set that ranges from I think it's an 01, has 01, 02, 03, 04, 05, and then an 08. And I've been using mainly the 02 to do these little cards, and it's been working really well. And I've just been using, I think it's a 6B pencil to do my shading. I don't know whether you can sort of see really well, but on some of them you'll be able to, if I hold this close, you can sort of see shading that I've done on some of them. So I've been using that, and obviously using a blending tool to blend out the pencil. So some of these, maybe if I hold them a bit closer, you can sort of see some of the shading that I've done. So that's what I've been using for the actual Inktober things. I've been using fountain pen, and I'm actually going to be doing some more work with different fountain pen inks. I haven't done my video. I have probably shown some videos with some fountain pen inks, but I am actually waiting on a big haul of inks, and I'm yet to do my video on setting up my ink journal. So I'm going to be exploring, you know, with a lot of inks and painting flowers and doing things like that, as well as my watercolors. So yeah, so, and then I guess, you know, apart from that, generally I've been doing some other sort of sketches, just, you know, in general, in pencil. So this one, I actually tore it out of my book because I was having another OCD, ADHD sort of moment where I wasn't really happy with it. So I'm currently re-sketching this. So yeah, you'll often see in a lot of my drawing videos and anything to do with art is I do have a tendency to get really annoyed with something that I've done and rip it out, which is not good. You know, they do say you should just flip the page, keep going, start again, whatever, maybe go back to that sketch. But I'm really guilty of just going, yeah, that's just really crap. So you have to get rid of it. And I'm sure that over time, the more that I'm drawing, because I haven't sat down and done proper drawing and dedicated time to it for some time until recently. So once I get back into it and I'm feeling a bit more comfortable and I'm building my skills up again, I'm sure I won't be ripping things out. But yeah, it's a really bad trait that I have. So, but yeah, so, and then I guess the takeaway from this and from my video and from, attempting to do Inktober and Inktober Tangles, I'm sure that had I not had the added thing of suddenly buying a house mid-October, I feel pretty confident that I would have completed the majority of it. Maybe I would have had to go back and do some little touches to some of my drawings and things like that. But I'm pretty confident that I would have gotten the bulk of it done and would have at least done, the tangle every day and done the basic, at least, outlines of each sketch for Inktober. But because everything sort of happened like it did, my takeaway from that is that I'm back drawing, I'm back doing art, I'm enjoying it, and despite the fact that I had some things happen, I still just need to keep going. So, and not to suddenly stop doing my art. So it's, it's just a small delay and I will get back onto it. I still find myself at night, and I'm sure tonight will be one of those nights where if I can't sleep, I will be sitting down with my sketchbooks and working on these things. So it's just sort of taught me that, and for any of you that kind of fall off the wagon, I guess, midway through the month, it doesn't matter if you miss a day. You can go back and do it. Nobody's, looking over your shoulder and policing you. And if you're somebody, because I had full intentions of, posting on Instagram and, doing even a mid-month sort of showing what I'd done the first 1 to 15 days and then doing another one from, say, day 16 to day 31 of stuff, and it just didn't happen. So if you're one of those people that had that intention as well, or you might have done one video or one Instagram post but you didn't get to the others, who cares? It doesn't matter. It only matters to you. So my advice would be to do what I'm doing, and that is just to keep going and to make sure that at least every few days or something you're at least looking at your art books, thinking about it. If you can't touch them for several weeks, that's fine, but keep them somewhere where they're in sight and it's on your mind and that it's going to prompt you to go back to it. But yeah, who cares if you do Inktober in November or in December or in January? It really doesn't matter. There's also, I know that Inktober also has another thing where you can do a sketch a month. So it's something like Inktober 365. If you jump on and Google, it'll all be there. And they will have, I think it's a monthly prompt that you could do, or is it a sketch a day for 360? I can't remember now. But, they're all things that you can do. You can download all the prompts. If not anything else, you'll accumulate a list of prompts of things that will get your mind, thinking and your artistic flow going by going, well, okay, I have no idea what I want to sketch. You have a look at the prompts and you just go from there. So I have a list. In 2024, I'm going to attempt to do some sort of drawing every day. It may not be a new drawing, but it may be a drawing that I'm working on, and it may take me a week to do the one drawing. But I'm going to have all those prompts there so that I can work with them whenever I want to do some art. I do actually do like Junk Journal July as well, and I think they have Junk Journal January, which, you know, I'll probably just do one. So there are other things that I do in other art, other craft, and things like that throughout the year as well, and they can kind of get a little bit muddled up, I guess. But if I'm organized, then I can do it. But the main thing for me is, yeah, I want to do it, you know, Inktober in October. But if I don't get to do it in October, who cares? Nobody is telling, you know, nobody's putting any rules around me, hard and fast rules, and nobody's policing me except for me. So I think the main thing and what's important is to just do you. Do your art when you want to do it, the way that you want to do it, the subject matter that you want to do it, and just utilize all those other things out there that the rest of the, you know, artistic community has available. Make up your own prompt lists. You know, there's no reason why you can't decide that, you know, you'll put your own prompt list together, and it might be a list of things that you've always wanted to draw or that you enjoy drawing. So make a list of things, put it up on your wall, put it in the front of your art journal, do it on your computer, whatever, so that you've got your own sort of schedule and ideas and things like that that you want to do. And the main thing is, if you love art, that you're just doing it when you can do it on your terms, in your time. Yeah, so for me, that's been the best thing that I can do. And I find that sometimes if I'm, you know, I don't have a lot of time to do something or to dedicate it, or I really need to be sitting down at a proper table to do that particular piece, but I can't, then I will take my book and sit in front of the TV watching Yellowstone or whatever it may be, and I will do something like this little doodle that's here on this page. I'll see if I can zoom it in a little bit. It is so basic, but it's just a whole heap of lines and squiggles and little doodles all put together that I just made up. I mean, I did watch some videos, I saw some people doing similar ones, and I thought, you know, this is just a really easy, fun way to make sure that I'm being artistic, and that, you know, if I'm bored, I could just sit there. If I'm on a phone call or I'm watching a YouTube video, I can just sit there and do this because it's so easy. There's no rules. And it's practicing your lines and, you know, your curves and all of that sort of thing. So art can be anything that you want it to be. And my books have a total mix of things in there. You know, I don't really have just one for sketching and, you know, not when it comes to these particular journals. They're kind of a mix of everything. So, yeah, I think that's about it. So, you know, my takeaway and my message to you is just keep going. Do what you love when you can, and don't put any pressure on yourself because you're only accountable to yourself. And some of us show our art to other people and some of us don't. So, you know, I have no problem leaving any of my books open around my house. But I don't post, you know, if I do something like this, I don't put it up on Facebook, sort of thing. And, you know, other times I might do something and I don't particularly want anyone to see it for no particular reason. So I just close my art book up. But yeah, the important thing is that you're doing art every day and you're doing something that you love. So that's it for me. As I said, I will be doing some more videos, and I'll be trying to, you know, post them as regularly as I can, whilst I'm in the process of moving and packing up my house and that sort of thing, because I will need to start packing up my art supplies, but I will try and leave out, you know, my travel journal kit or something like that, and so that I've still got some things that I can do. But yeah, it's going to be a big, as usual with my channel, it's going to be a big mix of all different sorts of things: art, fountain pens, junk journaling, you know, moving house, decluttering, all sorts of things. So thank you for joining me and sharing some space with me. I hope you have a fantastic week, and I'll see you in my next video. Thanks, bye.